My dear child, come, sit with me for a while. Let the noise of your day fall away. Have you ever stood in a crowded room, surrounded by laughter and conversation, yet felt utterly, profoundly alone? Have you ever looked into the faces of friends, family, or colleagues and seen a chasm of understanding that no words could ever bridge? If you are listening to my voice right now, I know you have. And what if I told you that this persistent feeling of separation, this holy ache in your soul, is not a sign of brokenness, but the first, clear echo of a divine calling? My name is of no great importance, but what I carry is the wisdom of more than 20 years spent walking with souls like yours. In my 2 decades of ministry, I have sat across from countless people, but every so often, I meet one like you, one whose eyes hold a different kind of light, a different kind of sorrow. It is the look of a traveler in a foreign land, someone who speaks a language the world has long forgotten. It is the look of the chosen. And you, my child, have been chosen by God Himself. This message has not found you by chance. It is a divine appointment, a key delivered by the hand of the Most High, intended to unlock a chamber in your heart that you thought was sealed forever. From your earliest days, you sensed a dissonance between the song in your heart and the rhythm of the world around you. While other children played with a carefree spirit, you were often lost in thought, wrestling with questions that seemed far too heavy for your young shoulders. You felt the unseen currents in a room, the unspoken sadness, the hidden jealousies, the fragile egos. You saw through the masks that people wore, the polite fictions they told themselves and each other, and it left you with a deep, spiritual hunger that nothing in this material world could satisfy. No matter how hard you tried to belong, to learn the steps to their dance, to sing along with their popular choruses, your feet stumbled and the words felt foreign on your tongue. You were always set apart, not by your own choosing, but by a sacred design woven into the very fabric of your soul before you took your first breath. For years, you may have believed this was a curse. You may have prayed to be normal, to feel the easy camaraderie that others seem to enjoy so effortlessly. You may have wondered, God, why am I like this? Why can't I just fit in? But today, I am here to tell you with the full authority of a life spent witnessing His miracles. You were never meant to fit in. You were destined to stand out. You were not designed to be a part of the crowd, but to be a lighthouse for it. That deep, painful isolation you have endured was not a punishment, it was your training ground. It was the wilderness where God could speak to you without the clamor of the world drowning out His whisper. He was forging you, refining you, preparing you for a purpose so magnificent that it required you to be consecrated, to be set apart for His holy use. You see, being chosen is not about spiritual ego or a title of superiority. It is a mantle of profound responsibility. You carry a spiritual frequency, a divine light that is intensely pure and powerful. Many people, lost in the shadows of their own fear, confusion, and unhealed wounds, cannot withstand the brightness of your spirit. It is not a fault in you or in them, it is a spiritual reality. When you enter a room, your very presence acts as a divine tuning fork. It exposes dissonance. It reveals what is not in harmony with truth and love. Unknowingly, people sense this. Their spirits either resonate with your light or recoil from it, because your presence forces them to confront the parts of themselves they have long kept hidden. This is why you feel so inexplicably drained in large gatherings. It is not just social anxiety, it is a deep, spiritual exhaustion from navigating a sea of chaotic, conflicting energies. Your soul, which craves peace, truth, and communion with the divine, is being battered by the storms of collective human consciousness. Let this truth settle into your spirit today and bring you peace. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not antisocial. You are not cold-hearted. You are spiritually sensitive, and your energy is sacred. The reason you cannot be around a lot of people is that the divine is fiercely protecting his investment in you. He is guarding the holy flame he placed within you, ensuring it is not smothered by the spiritual slumber of the masses or tainted by their confusion. This journey we are about to embark upon through these words I share with you is not about information. It is about confirmation. It is the Spirit of God bearing witness with your spirit, affirming everything you have always known in the deepest parts of your being. That feeling of being an outsider, that magnetic pull towards solitude, that deep longing for something more, it is all part of a beautiful, divine tapestry. You are on the path of the chosen, a path walked by prophets, seers, healers, and warriors for millennia. It is a lonely road, yes, but you do not walk it alone. The unseen hand of the Most High has guided you every step of the way, leading you here, to this very moment, to this truth that will set your spirit free. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. Your time of questioning is over. Your time of understanding has begun. In our next chapter, we will walk deeper into the sacred wilderness of your journey and uncover the profound, protective power behind the solitude you have so often mistaken for abandonment. Your destiny is calling, chosen one. It is time to finally understand who you were made to be. My child, let us now walk together into the heart of the matter, into the very thing that has likely caused you the most profound pain on your journey, the loneliness. Let's speak of the closed doors, the unanswered calls, the seasons where the silence in your life was so loud it felt like a scream. I want you to bring those moments to mind, not to reopen old wounds, but to pour the healing balm of divine truth upon them. For I must tell you, with all the certainty in my spirit, that your isolation has never been a sign of God's rejection. It has been the clearest sign of his protection. Your solitude is not a prison, it is a sanctuary, a sacred fortress built by the hands of the Almighty to preserve the precious gift he has placed within you. Look to the ancient patterns, the holy scriptures. The ones God chooses for the greatest tasks are almost always led first into the wilderness. Moses, before he could stand before Pharaoh and lead a nation to freedom, spent 40 years in the desolate lands of Midian, a forgotten shepherd. In that crushing solitude, God stripped him of his princely pride and taught him humility, dependence, and the sound of his voice. Elijah, the fiery prophet, before he could hear the still, small voice of God, had to flee to a cave, hidden and alone. Even our Lord, Jesus Christ, before beginning his public ministry, was led by the Spirit into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. Do you see the divine pattern? Separation always precedes elevation. Isolation is the sacred crucible where warriors are forged. You, chosen one, are walking this same ancient, hallowed path. The Most High has shielded you from the masses, not to deprive you, but to prepare you. He sees the spiritual landscape in a way we cannot. He sees the subtle dangers, the spiritual predators, the well-meaning but misguided souls who, in their own brokenness, would have inadvertently drained your energy, clouded your vision, and diverted you from your divine assignment. Think of your spirit as a pure, clear spring of water. To keep it pure, God has built a wall of solitude around it, protecting it from the muddy feet and polluted streams of a world mired in fear, envy, and spiritual confusion. Every person He has removed from your life, every door He has closed, has been an act of merciful protection. You may have banged on those doors, weeping, not understanding why. But God, in His infinite wisdom, knew what lay on the other side: a compromise, a distraction, a spiritual entanglement that would have ensnared your soul. He loved you too much to let you walk through them. This sacred solitude is God's private workshop, and you are His masterpiece in the making. A master craftsman does not create his finest work in the middle of a bustling marketplace. No, he retreats to his private studio where there is silence, where he can focus, where his hands can move with precision, undisturbed. That is what God is doing with you. In the quiet, away from the demanding voices and critical eyes of the world, He is molding you, shaping you, and breathing His divine character into you. It is in this stillness that your spiritual gifts, which we will speak of soon, are being honed and sharpened. Your intuition becomes a surgeon's scalpel, able to discern truth from deception. Your spiritual sight becomes clear, allowing you to see past the illusions of this world into the reality of the kingdom. Your connection to Him becomes an unbreakable cord. He is teaching you to draw your strength, your validation, and your identity, not from the ever-shifting opinions of the crowd, but from the eternal, unchanging truth of who He says you are. Furthermore, this separation is a shield against spiritual warfare. Because you carry a brilliant light, you are a threat to the forces of darkness. They will do anything to extinguish that light. One of their most effective tactics is to use other people, often unconsciously, to inject doubt, fear, and confusion into your life. Crowded, chaotic environments are fertile ground for these spiritual attacks. In your isolation, God minimizes these risks. He has placed you in a spiritual hidden place, under the shadow of His wing, far from the reach of those who would seek to drain you, manipulate you, or derail your mission. While the world may not see you, all of heaven knows your name and your location. You are under constant angelic guard. What feels like loneliness to your human heart is, in the spiritual realm, a state of being perfectly and completely protected. I know this path has been painful. I know you have cried out for companionship, for someone who truly understands the language of your soul. You have watched others form easy bonds, build bustling communities, and have felt like an outcast. But that pain, my child, has been a divine pressure, shaping you into the diamond you were always meant to be. The pain of isolation has forced you to go deeper, to find your solace not in others, but in the arms of your Creator. It has taught you resilience. It has taught you to stand alone, clothed in divine armor, unwavering, even when the winds of adversity howl around you. A tree that grows in a dense forest is protected by its neighbors and never develops deep roots. But a tree that grows alone on a windswept hill must drive its roots deep into the rock to survive. You are that tree. Your roots are now so deep in God that no storm will ever be able to uproot you. So do not curse the quiet seasons. Do not resent the wilderness. Lean into them. Embrace this sacred solitude as a gift. It is in this space that you are receiving the divine downloads, the heavenly wisdom, and the spiritual fortitude necessary for the mission ahead. You are being hidden now, but not forever. You are being consecrated, set apart, so that when the appointed time comes, and it will come, you will emerge not as someone seeking a place to belong, but as a leader, a healer, a way-shower, fully prepared and divinely empowered. The world is groaning, waiting for the ones like you to rise. But you cannot rise until you have been fully formed in the secret place. In our next conversation, we will begin to uncover one of the primary reasons for this divine protection, the beautiful and burdensome gift of your heightened spiritual sensitivity. We will explore how your spirit feels everything and why that sacred empathy requires you to be shielded from the emotional chaos of the world. For now, rest in this truth. You are not abandoned. You are being preserved. My child, now that we have walked through the sacred architecture of your solitude and understood it not as abandonment, but as a fortress of divine protection, it is time to illuminate why its walls are so necessary. We must now speak of the exquisite and at times excruciating gift that God has woven into the very fiber of your being. It is the reason you feel so deeply, the reason the world affects you so powerfully, and the reason you cannot simply move amongst the masses unscathed. You were born with what the ancients would call a discerning heart, a spirit with a profound, heightened sensitivity to the unseen world around you. This is not the ordinary empathy that allows one person to feel sorry for another. No, this is something far deeper, something spiritual. You don't just sympathize with people's pain, you absorb it. You walk into a room and you don't just see the people, you feel the emotional weather, the spiritual atmosphere. You can sense the lingering residue of a past argument, the unspoken anxiety hanging in the air, the deep well of sorrow hidden behind a person's brightest smile. Others may be oblivious to these undercurrents, navigating the surface of life. But you are like a deep-sea vessel, keenly aware of the powerful, invisible currents moving far below. This heightened awareness is not your imagination. It is a sacred gift of perception, a spiritual instrument designed by God Himself. From a young age, you have carried this silent burden. You've been in crowded places, a shopping mall, a family gathering, a bustling church service, and while everyone else seems energized and engaged, you feel an overwhelming sense of exhaustion creeping over you, a spiritual heaviness that you cannot explain. It is because you are not just processing the audible conversations, your spirit is processing everything else. The fear, the grief, the jealousy, the loneliness, the pride, all the unhealed wounds and chaotic emotions of the people around you are washing over your spirit like relentless waves, and it takes a tremendous amount of your spiritual energy just to stay afloat. You are a spiritual sponge in a world saturated with emotional and spiritual toxins. The longer you stay, the more you absorb, until you walk away feeling drained, anxious, and heavy with emotions that do not even belong to you. This divine sensitivity has a holy purpose. It is the tool that allows you to discern truth from deception, to sense the true intentions behind a person's words, and to minister to the real, hidden wounds of their heart. This is why people, even strangers, find themselves drawn to you, pouring out their life stories, their deepest fears and secrets, often within minutes of meeting you. They may not know why, but their spirit recognizes a safe harbor in you. They sense that you are a vessel of light, a healer, someone who can hold their pain without judgment, and this is part of your calling. But here lies the sacred paradox, the double-edged nature of this gift. Your open, compassionate heart can become a target. In a world full of hurting people, many have not learned to take responsibility for their own emotional energy. Unconsciously, they look for someone to offload their baggage onto, and your light makes you an easy destination. Without strong spiritual boundaries, you risk becoming an emotional dumping ground for the collective pain of those around you. You carry the weight of their burdens long after they have walked away, feeling lighter. This, my child, is the empath's cross, and it is a heavy one to bear. If left unchecked, this constant absorption can poison your own spirit, entangle you in spiritual cords that were never meant for you, and ultimately render you too weary to fulfill your own divine mission. Do you understand now why the Most High calls you so often to retreat? Your solitude is not just for protection, it is for purification. It is a necessary spiritual practice. The quiet spaces are where you can wring out the spiritual sponge, releasing all the foreign energies you have absorbed back to God. It is where you recalibrate your own spirit, returning to your divine center. It is in the stillness, alone with Him, that you can distinguish between what is yours and what belongs to others. God has not called you to carry the entire world on your shoulders. He has only asked you to carry your own cross and follow Him. Part of that cross is the wisdom to know when to engage and when to withdraw, when to pour out and when to return to the Father's well to be refilled. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is an act of sacred stewardship. It is essential for your spiritual survival and for the longevity of your mission. The world needs your light, but it needs your light to be pure and bright, not dim and clouded by the emotional smog of the masses. Therefore, embrace your need for quiet. Honor the signals your spirit sends you. When you feel that sense of being overwhelmed, that spiritual suffocation, do not question yourself or think you are weak. Recognize it for what it is, the alarm bell of your sacred sensitivity, a loving warning from the Holy Spirit, telling you it is time to retreat to the fortress of your solitude, to rest and recharge. Your heart is the very wellspring of your life and ministry, and the divine commands you to guard it above all else. Your empathy is one of your greatest spiritual weapons, but it is also your point of greatest vulnerability. It is because you feel so much that you have been set apart so much. You are being trained to be a master of this gift, to use it with wisdom, to protect it with ferocity, and to understand that your greatest compassion is sometimes expressed by preserving your own peace so you can serve from a place of fullness, not depletion. In our next chapter, we will delve deeper into the spiritual dynamics at play, exploring the fundamental energetic misalignment, the sacred dissonance that occurs when your heavenly tuned spirit meets the chaotic noise of the world. For now, be at peace, chosen one. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is your superpower. My dear child, now that we have spoken of the sacred weight of your discerning heart, let us explore the profound spiritual dynamic that makes your journey so unique. We must address a truth that many will never grasp. yet it is written into the very music of your soul. There is a fundamental, energetic misalignment between you and the masses, a sacred dissonance that occurs because your spirit is tuned to the key of heaven in a world that has largely forgotten the song. Think of all creation as a great symphony orchestrated by God. The average person, conditioned by the fears and ambitions of this fallen world, contributes to a melody that is often chaotic, anxious, and dissonant. Their lives are shaped by the rhythm of materialism, the tempo of competition, and the jarring notes of ego and unhealed trauma. It is the deafening noise of a collective that is, for the most part, spiritually asleep. But you, chosen one, are different. Your spiritual awakening, a process guided by the divine maestro himself, has retuned your very soul. You have been aligned with a higher frequency, a purer sound, a melody that echoes the peace and truth of the kingdom. This is why you feel such friction when you are immersed in the collective. It is not a social awkwardness, it is a spiritual reality. It is like trying to merge pure, clear water with oil they were never meant to mix. Have you ever walked into a room and felt your spirit immediately recoil? Have you felt a sense of spiritual suffocation in a crowd, even when everyone is smiling and laughing? That is your heavenly tuned spirit reacting to the jarring dissonance of the world's song. While others are numb to it, your heightened sensitivity makes you feel it all. The fear, the envy, the unspoken judgments, and the spiritual noise becomes overwhelming. But there is a deeper layer to this, one that is crucial for you to understand. Your very presence, without you saying a single word, acts as a divine mirror. The pure frequency you carry, the light of Christ within you, naturally illuminates and exposes everything that is hidden in the shadows of other people's hearts. When you step into a room, your light shines on the masks people wear, the illusions they cling to, and the stagnant, unhealed energy they carry. Now, imagine living your whole life in a dimly lit room, accustomed to the shadows. Suddenly, someone walks in carrying a bright lantern. The sudden light is jarring. It reveals the dust you've ignored, the cracks in the walls you've pretended weren't there. Your first reaction would not be gratitude. It would be discomfort, maybe even anger. You would want the person to dim that light so you could return to the comfortable familiarity of your shadows. This, my child, is what happens to you in the spiritual realm. Many people are not ready to confront what your light reveals within them. Your peace exposes their anxiety. Your authenticity exposes their pretense. Your truth threatens the very foundation of the comfortable lies they have built their lives upon. And so, unconsciously, they react. This is why you are so often misunderstood. This is why people may suddenly withdraw from you for no apparent reason or become defensive and antagonistic in your presence. They may label you as strange, aloof, or intimidating because their spirit recognizes that you carry a truth they are not yet willing to face. You may become a silent target for their projections, their envy, or their judgment, not because of anything you have done, but because of the divine light you carry within. Please, hear me on this, and let it sink deep into your soul. It is not personal, it is spiritual. The friction you experience is not a reflection of a flaw within you, but a testament to the power of the light you bear. This sacred dissonance is also a form of divine protection. God designed it this way. The discomfort you feel serves as a holy barrier, preventing you from becoming fully entangled in environments that would suffocate your spirit and derail your purpose. While others may lose their identity in the crowd, you are called to remain sovereign, conscious, and attuned to the voice of God. This natural repulsion ensures that you cannot get too comfortable in places you were never meant to stay. It is the divine shepherd's gentle yet firm prod, guiding you back toward the quiet pastures of solitude, where your connection to Him can remain clear and unbroken. While many will recoil from your light, know that those who are truly seeking, those whose hearts are ready to awaken, will be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. They will find comfort in your presence and clarity in your words. This is the other side of your calling. You are a stumbling block for the proud, but a lighthouse for the lost. Your song is meant to cut through the cacophony of the world, not to harmonize with it. It is a clarion call, reminding those with ears to hear that there is a more beautiful, more truthful, more divine melody to which they can tune their own lives. So, when you feel that friction, do not shrink back. When you feel misunderstood, do not blame yourself. Understand it for what it is, a confirmation of your alignment with heaven. You were not made to harmonize with the noise of the masses. You were made to introduce the sound of heaven to the earth. In our next chapter, we will turn our attention to the specific, critical mission that requires your song to remain so pure, and why the clarity born of solitude is the most essential tool for its fulfillment. My child, we have spoken of the heavenly song your spirit sings amidst the dissonance of the world. We have explored the sacred sensitivity of your heart and the protective fortress of your solitude. Now, we must ask the great question, for what purpose? Why must your song remain so pure? Why must your heart be so carefully guarded? The answer, chosen one, lies in the sacred and critical nature of your divine assignment. Your life is not a random series of events. It is a meticulously planned mission, and for this mission, clarity is not a luxury. It is your most essential weapon. The purpose God has placed upon your life is too important to be risked by confusion. You are called to be a clearer of paths, a speaker of truth in a world intoxicated by lies, a healer of wounds that others cannot see, and a leader who guides souls out of spiritual darkness. You cannot perform this holy work if your own vision is clouded or your spiritual compass is spinning wildly. The world is a bewildering fog of competing voices, fleeting trends, and subtle deceptions. The enemy of your soul knows that if he cannot destroy you, his next best tactic is to distract you. He will surround you with pointless engagements, unaligned relationships, and worldly ambitions that seem good on the surface, but are designed to do one thing: dilute your focus and drain your energy. This is why the Most High has been so intentional in keeping you separated. Your solitude is the crucible where clarity is forged. It is in the profound silence, away from the world's clamor, that God's voice can be heard without distortion. It is there He gives you the divine downloads, the heavenly strategies, the prophetic insights into your next steps. While others are being tossed to and fro by every new doctrine and societal whim, you are being anchored in the deep, unshakable truth of God's will. Your mission requires a laser focus that can only be cultivated in the secret place with Him. You must be able to see through the illusions that hold others captive And that kind of sight is only granted when the eyes of your spirit are cleansed from the dust of the world. Now, let us speak of the divine rhythm that governs this entire process. We must speak of God's perfect timing. Perhaps the most difficult part of your journey has been the waiting. You have felt the stirring of your purpose, the immense potential within you, yet you have seen doors close and opportunities pass you by. You have watched others rush ahead, building their lives and careers, while you have been held in a season of stillness, of hiddenness. It is natural to have questioned this, to have felt that you were falling behind. But you must understand, my child, the Most High does not operate on a human timetable. He is the divine gardener, and he knows the precise moment a seed must remain buried in the dark soil to gather strength before it can break through the ground. To force it to sprout prematurely would be to kill it. The separation and the waiting you have endured are not a delay. They are a deliberate, divinely orchestrated preparation. God has been pruning you. Every relationship that fell away, every path that was blocked, that was the hand of the gardener, lovingly cutting away every branch that would not bear fruit in your next season. He has been fortifying your roots in him, so that when he finally elevates you, you will be strong enough to withstand the winds that come with your new height. Think of an archer preparing to shoot an arrow at a distant target. To give the arrow maximum power and range, he must first pull it backwards. The further back he pulls it, the further it will ultimately fly. From the arrow's perspective, this backward motion might feel like a regression, a movement away from the goal. But from the archer's perspective, it is the essential act of accumulating the potential energy needed for a powerful, precise launch. You, chosen one, have been in that process of being pulled back. This hidden season that has felt like a delay is, in fact, God aiming your life. He is aligning you with your target, building up the spiritual power within you, waiting for the perfect appointed moment to release you. This waiting is the ultimate test of faith. It requires you to surrender your own ambitions, your own timelines, your own understanding, and trust completely in the wisdom of the archer. It is in this crucible of waiting that your faith becomes real, moving from a mere intellectual belief to a deep, unshakable trust forged in the fires of uncertainty. You are learning to move not by sight, but by faith, which is the only way a chosen one can truly walk. So do not despise the pruning, do not resent the waiting. It is all part of a divine and perfect plan. The people who were removed were not meant to accompany you into your promised land. The doors that were closed were protecting you from paths that were not yours to walk. Your separation is a sign of your selection. You are being prepared for an impact far greater than you can currently imagine, and it will all unfold in God's perfect time. In our final chapter, we will speak of the moment of unveiling, the culmination of all this preparation. We will seal this wisdom with a word of empowerment to carry you forward as you step into the fullness of your sacred destiny. My beloved child, we have journeyed far together through the sacred chambers of your soul. We have walked through the wilderness of your isolation, stood in the holy sanctuary of your solitude, and felt the profound weight of your discerning heart. We have listened to the dissonance between your heavenly song and the world's chaotic noise, and we have waited patiently in the crucible of divine timing. Now, at the culmination of this journey, there is one final, glorious truth you must carry with you as you step forward into the life you were born to live. Let this be the day that your perspective shifts forever. Let this be the moment you cease to see your life through the lens of what has been painful and begin to see it through the divine lens of what has been prepared. Every moment of loneliness was not rejection. It was your consecration. Every season of feeling misunderstood was not a sign of your strangeness. It was a confirmation of your sacred frequency. Every tear you cried in the waiting was not a sign of delay. It was the watering of the holy seed of purpose within you. The Most High has not been punishing you, He has been investing in you. He has hidden you not because you are forgotten, but because you are treasured. He has refined you in the silent fire so that you would not be consumed by the public one. The time for wondering why me is over. The season for walking boldly in your God-given identity is now at hand. You are to no longer apologize for the light you carry or try to dim it for the comfort of others. You have been forged in the secret place for a public purpose, and the world, whether it knows it or not, is desperately in need of what only you can bring. The great potter is taking you from the shelf of his private workshop. He has deemed you ready. The time of preparation is ending, and the time of presentation is beginning. Therefore, I charge you with this holy commission as you move forward from this day. First, walk boldly in the uniqueness of your path. Release forever the need for the crowd's approval. You are not accountable to the masses. You are accountable to the Most High, who chose you before the foundation of the world. Your steps are ordered by Him, and you need no other validation. Walk as if you know you are guided, because you are. Second, trust fiercely in the divine protection that surrounds you. When you feel the pull to retreat into solitude, honor it as the wisdom of the Holy Spirit. When you sense a dissonance in a person or environment, trust your sacred sensitivity as the divine compass it island. Do not second-guess the spiritual instincts that God has spent your entire life sharpening. Third, embrace your sensitivity as the powerful instrument of healing and discernment that it island. Do not curse it as a burden any longer. Instead, learn to be a wise steward of it. Protect it, cleanse it, and wield it with love and wisdom to bring truth and comfort to the souls God places in your path. Finally, live consecrated. Know that your energy is precious and your mission is sacred. You are not here to blend in. You are here to be a beacon. You are not here to be popular. You are here to be purposeful. Let this understanding govern your choices, your relationships, and your time. Offer your life as a holy vessel, ready and willing to be used for His glory. You, my child, have been set apart not to be cast aside, but to be elevated. You were hidden so that you could be healed. You were separated so that you could be strengthened. Stand tall now, chosen one. Let the light that has been cultivated in the darkness shine forth without apology. Your past was preparation, your present is purpose, and your future is a glorious destiny waiting to unfold. The world is waiting for your song. Go in peace and walk in your light. Your destiny awaits.